Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a double spiral. Looks like I have this one turned inside out, and this is a Gildan soft style shirt. They're really nice shirts. They remind me a lot of the George brand shirts that we can get from Walmart. So I'm using the microwave splatter guard as usual, and I got it from Amazon, and there's a link for it down below in the description box along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so make sure that you check that out. And then I'm using what am I using? Hemostats. So I clamp the hemostat down on the first click. You do not need it to be overly tight because you don't want to tear a hole in your shirt. And you begin to spiral it up. So twist the hemostat once or twice, maybe 3 times, and then use your opposite hand to create the spiral. So since this is a double spiral, I go just a little ways, and then I'm going to go catty corner to that first spiral, and I'm going to make the second spiral by doing the same thing. Put your hemostat down on the first click, and you want to turn that spiral in the same direction that you did for the first spiral. Spiral them up as far as you can go with the microwave splatter guard, and then gently wiggle your hemostat out, and then you're going to have to continue making the pleats the rest of the way by hand. While you're doing this, make sure you hold down the centers of both of the spirals, or else you'll undo one to make the other, or vice versa. And then just wrap up all your shirt and secure it by using rubber bands. I start out by securing this one with my favorite rubber bands, but the stretched out ones. And they become stretched out because I apply heat with an electric blanket when I batch my items. And I do have a tutorial for that, so if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch that tutorial. So when you apply the heat to these rubber bands, whatever shape they were in, like if the big project, they stay big. So all I do is I rinse them off and I stick them in a separate container with all my miscellaneous sized rubber bands, and they come in handy for bigger projects. As I started to tighten down the spirals and tuck in all the loose tails, the project started to become smaller, so I had to switch gears and go into using my favorite rubber bands, the regular ones that are brand new. So I sped this way up because it took me quite some time to get this shaped and tucked in. So what I'm doing right now is I'm tucking in all the loose tails to the nearest rubber band. And for those of you that maybe are brand new to the channel, I have a whole bunch of spirals on my channel for you to watch because they're my favorite thing to make, that are a lot slower. And you can see my whole entire progression of where I started from, like how not good my spirals were until now. So definitely get the microwave splatter guard if you have the opportunity, because it really does sincerely change the game on spiral making. Unless you're really talented at making the pleated spirals, which I am not. I do not have the patience to sit there for 20 minutes and pleat spirals. I would just go absolutely crazy. So the splatter guard makes it really easy. And then the next step, because this is going to be an ice dye, you need to build yourself some type of an ice barrier, and these are called silicone cake molds, and they come from Amazon along with pretty much everything that I use for tie-dye, except for the dyes. That comes from Dharma Trading Company. So now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye, and this is my absolutely the favorite part of all of the tie-dyeing. And I wanted to pick colors for this one that have a really beachy, oceany sort of, summertime light colors, because I've been making a lot of dark purples and blues. I wanted to go with something bright and cheerful for this one. For my double spirals, I generally start right down the center of the 2 spirals and try to connect them. And so as you can see, I've put the dye down the center, and then I've sort of brought it out a little bit, sort of like a piece of the pie, into the center of each spiral. Since this is going to be an ice dye, which I typically liquid dye these, this one I wasn't very methodical and precise with my dye placement, because I know that once I hit the ice on it, it's going to spread out and take on a life of its own. That's the fun part about ice dyeing. It's like Christmas morning every time you open up a shirt because you don't exactly know what you're going to get. And I'm just using 2 colors on this. Again, I wanted it simple. And as we all know, or most of us know, that yellow and blue make green. So I'm hoping to see some blues, some yellows, some greens, color splits, like I said, just a bright, beachy, light, clean, soapy type of shirt. I almost forgot to mention, this shirt is on a very slight incline. So I have my closet-made rack propped up on one side with 2 empty dye jars. So next I give it a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure, and I add the ice. And I like to add enough ice to where it fills up the cake molds. I came back and checked this one, and there was a lot of undissolved dye, so I hit it again with a second layer of ice, and I let it batch for 48 hours after the ice melts. So it's been 48 hours and now it's time for the rinse out. So you want to start by using cold water. That rinses away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. And then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs basically clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine and I do however many hot water cycles it takes using Curolon. And I wash multiple items, you guys. That's why I do more than one hot water cycle, because I've got to get all that dye out. On the second cycle, I check the water, and if the water looks pretty much clear, I know that I'm ready for my third and final hot water cycle using Milsoft. And Milsoft is a professional fabric softener, and I get both Curolon and Milsoft from Dharma Trading Company. Then I put it in the dryer, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our double spiral on a very slight incline icedye after it's been washed and dried, and it's ironed just so I can photograph it. And I think it turned out great. I don't normally go towards this color palette just because it's not my personal thing that I like to wear, but it's good to push ourselves out of our comfort zone and try different things. And this is how you learn about colors too. So remember I said that blue and yellow make green. Well, Cayman Isle green is more of a lighter turquoise, but on my color swatch, it's more in the blue category. So of course I'm going to have a ton of green when you mix an already green color with yellow. So those darker orangey spots, those are the high concentration area of the bright yellow. And then I think when it mixes with the Cayman Isle green, it's making that sort of more of a dark chartreuse color. And I'm not a huge fan of that. It's pretty, but chartreuse is just not one of my favorite color tones. But overall, I think it's a really pretty shirt. It's great for summer. It's cheerful. It's bright. It'll look cute with some like little capri pants and sandals. Yeah, I like this shirt a lot. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.